Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in a Fortnite video. In today's video, I want to show you guys some very good settings to use and to change that's going to help you reduce the input delay on your controller. So if you feel like everything's super sluggish, everything feels really delayed or slow, definitely stay to the end of the video because these settings are a must change and will help you guys out a lot if everything does feel really slow. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys would like to enter this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload and when I announce the winners every Friday. And lastly, make sure you guys put down your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account down in the comment section below, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And lastly, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do, go down to the bottom right, hit on support a creator, type in my creator code, which is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, like I said, I want to show you guys some settings to change that's going to help you reduce the input delay on your controller and make everything feel a lot faster. And of course, if you play on PC, there's going to be a lot more options, but the reason why consoles have so much delay or so much input delay is because of a thing called Vsync. And if you guys don't know what that does, just simply it reduces any sort of screen tearing that you might get. And on console, it's automatically enabled. It's not enabled at all on PC, and you have the option of having it off or on. But the reason why consoles have it is because the only way to reduce or get rid of the screen tearing is if you have to have a either G-Sync or a FreeSync monitor, which the vast majority of people who play on console just won't have. They're either going to be on a TV or maybe perhaps they do have a monitor, but most people aren't, and they would experience massive screen tearing. So that's why if you guys feel like there's a lot of input delay, it's because of the Vsync on the console, which pretty much, in my opinion, is a good thing for most people because otherwise they'd have massive screen tearing, and the only way to not have it would be to have a G-Sync or a FreeSync monitor. So that is just one of the reasons in which everything feels super delayed. And if you guys do play on PC, you're going to notice that it's going to be a lot less input delay if you guys play on wireless versus wired. Kind of doesn't make any sense, but if you guys play on wireless, it is going to be better than playing wired on PC. Also, some other things you can do is you want to make sure that all of your settings are going to be on near or off, because this is going to help you boost your FPS a little bit, which in turn will make everything feel a lot more responsive. So Vsync, that was the thing I was showing before. You can only change this setting if you play on PC. If you play on console, it's automatically on by default, and that's why everything feels so super slow. There obviously can be other differences as well that could add for input delay, but Vsync is probably the number one thing on why consoles do feel so much more delayed as opposed to PC. But having better FPS will make everything feel a lot more responsive and a lot more better. So if you guys do play on PC, you want to make sure you have all your settings on off or low, unless you play on some really high-end PC. My specs are pretty good. I play on a 2070 Super as far as my graphics card, and I still play everything on low, and there are parts of the map where I get 110 FPS or even 120. Happened a couple times on stream, and it's super frustrating to go that low in FPS. But you definitely want to play on everything low as possible. So some other things you can change if you guys play on console, you can definitely change this setting as well, and that's going to be the record replays. Having this setting on is going to cause you to have a little bit of more dips in your FPS because the game is going to constantly be recording your gameplay. So you want to make sure you have this setting off. It doesn't matter if you play on console or PC. It's going to help you a lot when it comes to your FPS because you're not going to have as many FPS spikes or anything like that, just because the game isn't going to be constantly recording your gameplay, which is going to slow it down and affect your FPS. So that's why you want to make sure you have this setting off. Now, as far as the controller settings to make everything feel as responsive as possible, there is a couple of things that you guys definitely want to make sure that you have if you want everything to feel as responsive as you possibly can. So the first thing you want to have is you definitely want to turn your look dampening time off. I do recommend having on a little bit if your long range accuracy is really bad, but if you want everything to feel as responsive as possible, you definitely want to have this setting off. And when it comes to your dead zones, playing on the lowest dead zones you can is going to make everything feel super responsive, because as far as your dead zones, that's just how far you have to travel your analog sticks in order for the movement to register. So playing on a lower dead zone, I would recommend playing as low as you possibly can. without having like the craziest stick drift ever. So you want to make sure you play on as low dead zones as you can, because that's going to make everything feel a lot more responsive as of playing on a high dead zone. And of course, you want to make sure you have the enable foot controller setting. You want to have that off because it adds extra input delay to your controller. So you want to make sure you have that setting off as well. So as low dead zones as possible, no look dampening time, and you also want to make sure you have the foot controller setting on the off, just because it adds extra input delay specifically to your controller. So those are going to be the main controller settings you want to change. There's also one more important setting that I want to show you guys as well, that you guys definitely should make a change as well, that I think is going to make everything feel a lot better and a lot more fast. But as far as the controller options, those are the main things you want to change. And it's a lot more tricky because on console, there really isn't too much you can do as far as improving your input delay, but there is a couple of things in your settings to make everything a lot more responsive. And those things that I mentioned, those are the things you guys want to change, because on PC you have a lot more options, like playing on wireless versus wired is going to help, making sure you don't play on Vsync and getting a FreeSync monitor, and also increasing your FPS is going to make everything feel more responsive. So there is a lot more you can do on PC, but the settings that I showed you, if for those of you guys who play on console, you want to make sure you definitely change those to the best of your abilities. I know with dead zones it can be a little bit more tricky, because if you lower it too much, you're going to have a lot of stick drift, and that it could be bad in and of itself. And also another setting you can change that might actually make a huge difference. So for those guys who play on a PS4 controller, I actually do like the Xbox One controller platform a lot better. Now, when you change in between the Xbox One and the PS4 one, they do feel vastly different. And with the PS4 one, as I've noticed, if you play on Xbox, you can switch to PS4, and if you play on PS4, you can switch to Xbox. It doesn't matter what controller you have, you can switch in between both of them, however you like. But with the Xbox One, it definitely feels a lot more smooth. The PS4 one feels a little bit more rigid and a little bit more stiff, which I don't know, it could actually help a little bit more with aim. But I feel like if you want to have everything feel really smooth, I would recommend playing on the Xbox configuration. So if you guys play with a PS4 controller, I would recommend giving it a try. I think it's really nice. I think it's very good. As far as building and editing, everything feels super smooth and super fast. And even though I've tried out both of them, I do recommend playing on the Xbox controller configuration, just because it makes everything feel 10 times as smooth. I would definitely recommend giving both of those out a try, because maybe you play on Xbox and you think the PS4 configuration feels better. And like I said, it doesn't matter what controller you play on, you're able to switch in between the two and get the full benefits. So you definitely want to give those a look, and maybe it could actually improve how everything feels, could make everything feel a lot more responsive. So the settings that I showed you are pretty much every single setting that you're going to be able to change that is going to help you feel a lot more faster, and hopefully it makes it give the feel that it has less input delay. So definitely change those settings that I showed you in this video. I guarantee it will be a huge help if you guys haven't done any of them. Like if you haven't turned off the replays, that can definitely help your FPS, because playing on more FPS it doesn't actually reduce your input delay, but it gives you a lot more feel over your crosshair, which is going to be very beneficial when it comes to editing and specifically aiming, because you're going to have a lot more control over your aim, and everything's going to feel a lot better. Even if you do have the same input delay, it's going to give the illusion, it's just going to make it feel a lot better. Same with lowering your dead zones. It's going to make everything feel a lot more responsive and a lot better to use in games. So when you're playing against other players in pubs, arena, or box fights, you're going to feel a lot more control over your gun and your crosshair, which is going to be a huge help, and it's going to get you a lot more wins. But with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you found this video helpful, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Make sure you guys do hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new video. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on this channel at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys come by my live streams if you guys haven't already. Like I said, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Just hit that notification bell so you guys get notified when I go live. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video. And alright guys, I will see you in the next video.